YouTube, bright and sunny day in the business. I have been kind of slacking in terms of long form, like only because of the fact that I did make a video for you guys earlier on, and when I was making it, I just didn't like the clips whatsoever, so didn't post it. But I'll get into the aspects that I wanted to talk about and how they tie into that video. So there's three main topics that I wanted to talk about during this hike that I specifically, have planned for today. So first one is going to be, what was it? I don't know, I'm drawing a blank right now. It was relationship, faith, and the client. The first client that I had, got in the past few days. I'm gonna start off with relationship. Then we'll go faith, and then we'll go client. So, relationship. My friends know this, but I have recently met a woman. Some of you know, in the past videos that I've made, I was talking about how there was a woman who had me exerting like a lot of time and was in a fog that kind of like pushed her to be distant. And my friends had advised, you should probably move on. You should probably go talk to other women, because you staying here waiting for this woman could be just a waste of time. So I was like, yeah, you're right. I go wait. I go move on after a few days. And best thing that's ever happened. I have now sparked this great bond with this highly motivated woman. Very caring, very loving. Does things that I don't even have to ask her about. She shows a lot of work and a lot of emotions through her actions, and is constantly wanting my best interest and my attention, and yet she doesn't need it. She just feels good that she has it, right? That makes me feel valued as a man, makes me feel respected. How I think things will go on as time progresses, I hate to say it, but I think she the one, Y'all will know as I post these videos how that goes, but I think she's the one. We got a lot of stuff set up. We've, kind of built a system of doing things already, and it's already early on. She's already expressing so much gratitude early on, and so many things that I haven't experienced from those past relationships. So my main goal with that is, okay, what am I doing so where I'm not over promising in terms of the things that I do? I'm not over like overextending myself, yet also being level-headed, but still showing her, how my actions, play a role into her life. Because clearly you don't want to be a trick without knowing you're a trick by trying to win her over or impress her by the money, by those things that may not even matter in the long run, But we're very aligned. She's in sales. I want to do, you know, real estate, investing. And honestly, I feel just very, very great about her. But as of right now, that's really all I can say specifically about that. It is, you know, a very blessed moment for me. Very grateful for it. And, you know, I just pray there's more to come, right? But let's get into the second thing. My first client. So, dog, if you saw my video, bro, you know how freaking amped I was for that first ever client. Mainly because I just needed that proof of concept, right? I realized that I would have never got that client if I wasn't doing outreach every single day, dude. I was doing it at work. I made it upon me to do it at work to really like push the ticker forward in terms of that. And now it's like, okay, it's January. We got to win in January. How can we get a win in February? How can we get a win in March? How can we keep pushing the ticker forward so that we crush every single goal in 2026? Because quite frankly, I know that if we keep this up, if we stay consistent, it will all form into something bigger, right? Something way bigger. And I truly believe it. And especially, like I said, after I got that proof of concept, it's like, it shows that every piece of work you do counts, right? Every little thing adds up. I was playing the game when I had got a call, you know, saying like, hey Josh, I got something I want you to check out. I got a property I want you to check out. And, you know, I'm going to show you guys clips of what it looks like in a second. It's interesting, right? I'm going to have to definitely give me a poll, because what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Feels good to even have this opportunity to do this, you know, help my client out. And yeah, it's just what it is at the end of the day. But yeah, it was just like, damn, like, it felt so good. And so now I'm just like, okay, how can we think a little bit bigger? How can we push a little further every day? And you know, that's something I felt great about. That's something that I feel everybody needs, is that just that first sale, that first client, that first win within something they've created for themselves, and then capitalize off of it, right? But that ties me into like the faith aspect. This wise woman once told me, let me look in the notes so that I can quote it directly. All right, she was basically talking about how Christians sometimes, you know, I'm a Christian, how Christians will sometimes give themselves excuse as to why they're not growing. For example, one was, if God wanted it to happen, he would, right? And basically she was saying that's abdication in the fact that God works through our actions, right? He works through our actions. From Noah building the ark, to Adam cultivating the garden, to Nehemiah building the wall. Clearly not the Great Wall, but you know what I mean, right? Basically, a lot of Christians will sit there and wait for God to bring stuff to him, to us, when really we should just be taking as many actionable steps possible and let God direct that path, direct our steps. Without those steps, God has nothing to direct within us. And that's my main thing, is like, in business, all I can do is blame myself for not making progress within a year. If I'm not where I want to be, it's a product of my actions. And you have to keep it real with yourself. I truly believe that. And honestly, when you think about it that way, it's like, God, like, I'm just going to throw myself in the fire. Let you refine me. Let you open those doors as I push and knock on every single door, right? Every time I call somebody, I'm pushing for that sense of knowledge, that sense of achieving, and the sense of like growth from the fact that you learn from your past mistakes. You learn from the past actions that you do. You can be so smart. You can be so freaking smart. Do so well in school. And yet, because you take little action and you want to analyze every single thing before you even start and come up with so many risks, come up with so many things that would push you astray from that, it really does limit you. And I think within a lot of Christians, clearly they don't show their money, show their wealth, because that's not their main purpose, right? You know, what's having the world if you don't have God within your life, right? However, just because you don't want to be rich, just because you don't want to be wealthy, that doesn't mean you stop working, right? That doesn't mean you stop being consistent, because God doesn't like lazy. God likes people that achieve, like people that grow for a bigger understanding and yearn for more. And as Christians, that's what I feel like we're required to do, is to stand up and be a representation of God's light and really show what his power does. And that's just like a big thing that I've been thinking about recently. All in all, though, I know how it applies to my life. I know how, you know, it could apply in your guys' life, not to the fullest, but in a way we're all very similar as to how we want to grow, right? We're all very similar as to how we have obligations day by day, right? We're all very similar as we have to wake up every single day, depending on what time it is. We're all very similar in terms of the aspects of we have the same 24 hours, right? Why someone becomes rich, why someone becomes prosperous in life, whatever the case may be, it's how they're spending it. It's how their actions are. It's how they grow within their faith. And even then, it's like they test their faith day by day because they're taking actionable steps that are uncertain. They're very uncertain, but that doesn't stop them, right? So my biggest thing, stop overanalyzing and just do, right? Stop overanalyzing, just do, just continue to push, because at the end of the day, if you're failing and you're still like trying to build and you're not seeing those results just yet, you are still so many steps closer to the person that is sitting there talking about what they're going to do, having all these notes and analyzing what they're going to do. Then they take those steps and it takes them much longer because they don't know how to respond to those failures. God is so good but we can't continue to blame him for the reasons that we have induced upon ourselves through our actions, because we have free will, right? And anyways, I did kind of run out of storage at the end, so that is some bull crap. But all in all, keep pushing for more, give God some actions that he can direct, and just keep doing you. And all of you guys are truly my friends. If you respond to my comments, I'm going to respond back. And definitely drop a sub, because we're definitely pushing for more. We're definitely trying to make more of our creative side and giving that different aspects of life. So appreciate you guys, and take care.